Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Many Albertans, including myself, are concerned with the state of our important economic corridors and highway safety. In my charming constituency of Cypress Medicine Hat, Highway 41 helps us connect to the rest of Alberta, to our beautiful Cypress Hills, and to our American partners in the south. A single-lane highway has become increasingly less safe and has truly become dangerous to travel. Many families, including my own, have had serious near misses traveling Highway 41. Mr. Speaker, to the Minister of Transportation and Economic Corridors, what is our government doing to develop the roads and bridge networks along this vital corridor?
The Honourable Minister of Transportation and Economic Corridors.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And actually, I was honoured to be in the member of Cypress Medicine Hat's constituency just last week, and we highlighted our $8 billion three-year capital plan in this year's budget. And I know that that member has been a fierce advocate for important infrastructure projects in his riding, including Highway 41. And Highway 41 is obviously an important economic corridor to the United States, and we need to expand that economic corridor. And that's why this budget before the House actually has planning and engineering funding in the budget to widen Highway 41. And Mr. Speaker, I know I won't need to convince that member to vote for the budget, but I hope the NDP finds common sense to vote for this budget.
The Honourable Member for Cypress Medicine Hat.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and through you to the Minister. Given that our government shows commitment to developing roads and economic corridors, much to the dismay of the eco-nutjobs in Ottawa, and further given that many new projects have been announced all around this great province to help connect families and businesses and communities together, and further given that developing roads benefits all Albertans, can the Minister share what our government is doing to address these road upgrades in key infrastructure areas in Cypress Medicine Hat for my constituents?
The Honourable Minister of Transportation.
Well, thank you very much. And Mr. Speaker, there couldn't be a more stark contrast between the Liberals and the NDP government in Ottawa and this government. And we are actually committed to twinning Highway 3. We've actually divided it into 8 sections. Construction is actually starting through Tabor to Burdett, and the other 7 sections are actually in the planning and engineering phase. And Mr. Speaker, Highway 41 and Highway 41A are in the planning and engineering phase. In Cypress Medicine Hat, there's also dam and culvert conversions and improvements that are happening. But, Mr. Speaker, the Liberal NDP radicals like Minister Guilbeault that are saying no more road funding by the federal government, that's something that is appalling and not what we're doing here in the province.
Member for Cypress Medicine Hat.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and through you to the Minister. Given that there's still so much work to be done to connect Medicine Hat's growing aerospace and manufacturing industries to our Canadian and American partners, and further given that Highway 41 is the fastest way to our southern partners in my region, Mr. Speaker, can the Minister of Transportation and Economic Corridors explain when my constituents can expect to see these improvements on our local roads and potential upgrades to the Wild Horse border crossing?
The Honourable Minister of Transportation and Economic Corridors.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you to the member for that very important question. Hopefully we'll get the votes in this House to actually pass our $8 billion three-year capital plan for roads and bridges in this year's budget. But, Mr. Speaker, there are 64,000 lane kilometres that the province owns, 5,000 bridges, and the Wild Horse border crossing is a priority for this government. Our Premier actually wrote a joint letter of support with the Montana Governor to our federal governments to expand this border crossing. But, Mr. Speaker, it's very important for families in that area as well as goods crossing the U.S.-Alberta border to make sure that we have a border crossing that works for the needs of both of our states and province.